Camp Hamafugra.
So make sure the camp is safe and that everybody does what they're supposed to do. That's why there's rules. Do what you're supposed to do. And don't just take the plates there. Actually clean them off. Okay? So, there's that. We have a rule against bedwetting. No bedwetting allowed during the camp. So if it's a problem, we will ask your counselors to leave because they're the ones who do it. I've seen camp counselors wet other people's beds. It's terrible.
Kathy.
We do have a few camp counselors who have a problem with that.
I don't let this is my bed.
You wet other.
The next thing to remember is that we have to make sure that you please do what we ask because there's safety involved. We've only had 4 people catch on fire this year.
That's good.
And that's like a new record for us. So please be careful with the fire and do what we ask you to do with the fire. Now to actually begin our little experience for you, we have a special song that we would like to have you experience for your experience. So, if all the camp counselors would please come forward and they've been practicing really hard, and believe me, they need to practice.
Grammy Award winning.
They need to practice. So,
all of them.
Party. Party music. Okay. So, we expect everybody to know this song by the time camp is over. So please pay attention.
No boy.
We run.
We jump.
We laugh.
We play. We go on trips.
There we go. The things that last forever are our dear friendships. Camp Hamafugra, we hold you in our hearts. And when we think about you, I hope we want to part.
I hope we never part. Now get it right or pay the price.
Our fondest memories. I love you, love Hamafugra. And SOC Camp Hamafugra. We hold you in our hearts. And when we think about you, we hope we want our hearts. Think Hamafugra, speak Hamafugra, live Hamafugra. I think we should run.
We won't be having practice.
So, I don't know how you want to put this, although this is really good. It's cherry pie. Usually when people do this, it's not real pie. But real pie. So,
Go clean up. I'll take care of the rest.
thanks. You can guess I won the thing, or lost, depending on how you want to put it.
75% of you voted for this guy.
Woo! Oh yeah.
You got a pie in
Get
the
a pie in
face.
the face.
That's why I got the pie in the face. Otherwise, it's going to be missing.
I'd live like I'm not scared. Give when it's not fair. Live life for another. Take time for a brother. Fight for the weak ones. Speak out for freedom. Find faith in the battle. Stand tall but above it all.
this place, and I don't kid when I say it, is that we're real. We are absolutely real. I want to read this to you. I almost went over there because I can't see. This comes from, these are pretty dark. And you'll hear the whole story in a minute. They're darker than they should be. This comes from the Gospel of John. It's chapter 8. You should look it up. Jesus is talking to the Pharisees because they're trying to trap him and stuff. And this is what he says to the Pharisees. You are of your father, the devil. Yikes. Does that bring the first reading to mind a little bit? The Holy One is obnoxious to us. Let's kill him and find out what happens, because the Lord's supposed to protect him from his enemy. Who's the enemy of humanity? And what is Satan's attribute, his chief attribute? Do you know that? Do you know what the chief attribute of Satan is? Death. Death. And that should make you think a little bit. Because everything that leads to Satan, everything that comes from Satan, both leads to and comes from, has to do with death. And he tells the Pharisees, who are supposed to be the religious leaders of the day, right? You are of your father, the devil. And you want to do the desires of your father. He was a murderer from the beginning and does not stand in the truth because there is no truth in him. Whenever he speaks a lie from his own nature, for he is the liar and the father of lies. These are words coming straight from Jesus' mouth. Now here's the thing. We live in a society that wants to give us things to make us comfortable. Do you think that's a good thing? Yeah, potentially it is. And a lot of times it's really good for us. There's a whole lot of people in the world who live on 2 meals a week. Do you realize that? Actually, about half the world lives on 2 or 3 meals a week. And we have 3 a day. And then snacks in between. We are very, very, very comfortable. But we have also bought into a big, gigantic lie. But it's not until you get that close. Not until you get close enough to see through. That's exactly what our faith is like. And that is exactly how Satan works. Satan wants to be an imitation of what is good. Satan wants to be an imitation of what is right. Satan wants to be an imitation of everything that is holy, so that he can trick you. Because he's the father of lies. He's a murderer from the beginning. That's why everything that surrounds Satan has to do with death. And when Jesus was crucified, the people who know that reading in the Old Testament, who would have been the religious people, would have been the Pharisees, and well, really, would have been the Pharisees, would have said, this is not the Messiah because he's not being saved. Well, not from crucifixion, no. He got saved from death. Because death couldn't hold him. Because Jesus himself is life. He is life itself. We call this program Life Teen. And it's really more about who Jesus is than who we are. I mean, we have a whole team of people that put this thing together. And it's usually pretty big every week. We put a whole lot of time into it. But here's the thing. We don't want any of this to be about us, ever. When you come here, I promise you what you're going to get always is the truth. And it's not, we're not going to candy coat it. We're not going to, dress it up, ever. You're going to, when you come here, what you're going to get is the truth. Because there's really no other place that you can get it. Your parents would love to tell you the truth, but you don't want to hear it from them. Because they'll tell you in a different kind of way than you really want to hear. You can't hear truth in school because your teachers aren't allowed to tell you it. You can't get truth from each other because that's naivety right now. Honestly, I'm sorry, but you're just not old enough to figure out what's really true yet. You're getting there, and we're going to help you figure that out. That's why it's important to be here. When you hear the truth, sometimes it's going to really excite you. Sometimes it's going to piss you off. And sometimes it's going to make you just really challenged. And it's going to confuse you, and you're going to go, oh, well, how does that work? Well, that's why we're here. So that we can help you unravel that. The truth is always difficult and always good at the same time. It can be sweet and a little bit bitter at the same time. But when you come up against the truth, there's only one thing that can change, because the truth by its nature can't. Truth cannot change. If it did, it was no longer true. It was never true if it changed, right? Does that make sense? If something changes, it cannot be true. And we in our society, especially in the United States, and especially in your age group, think that feelings are true. And they are true to a certain extent, but that's not what they're for. Your feelings are not to help you understand what's true. Your feelings are what's to help you understand what is important to you. That's what feelings are for. But feelings, by their definition, cannot be true because they change and move. So they can't be true, but they can help you understand what you hold as important. And then you can, with your mind, figure out why you hold that as important. Truth happens in reason. You can discover the truth based on how you think. Our faith, regardless of what you hear from anybody else in the world, the Catholic truth, the Catholic faith is true. And it's 100% reasonable. 100%. And a lot of people will think that the church and science kind of go against each other, but they don't. Scientists will say that, but not people who really understand the church. Because the church is 100% reasonable. Those of you who've been through confirmation, you've heard me say something like that before. Those of you who are in confirmation, we're going to do an entire night on that. We're here at Life Teen, we're going to break that open a little bit next week. The truth is something that cannot change. And I promise you, when you come into this room, and we're in a teaching moment, you're going to hear the truth. And sometimes you'll like it, and sometimes you won't like it, sometimes it'll be hard to take, and sometimes it'll really excite you. But I promise you, it's always going to be the truth. Satan is the father of lies, and he's a cheap imitation. And he's a good imitation. And until you get close enough, you don't get it. And sometimes people get so close they can't pull away. Or sometimes people get so close they feel like they're unworthy of pulling away. I hope that you figure out while you're in this program, you can always pull away. You can always take them off your face. Satan's going to trick you into thinking that you're unworthy of God's love. That's just a lie. It's an absolute lie. Some of you feel that right now, I can tell. And it's a lie. You are always worthy of God's love. God wants you back always. But you're not worthy in your own self. You're worthy because of what Christ has done for you. And the only way that you can have that happen, have that be real in your life, is to accept it. So we're going to kind of break that open this entire year of how do you accept that.